Hi, Michael. So I've got your pie chart and your essay in front of me here. Really well done for submitting these. You're making great steps towards improving your English, which is really encouraging and really fantastic to see. It shows that you're a very dedicated student and really want to do the best thing to make the most of this exam. So, first of all, we had the pie chart on crop production. And you had the task of summarising the information and reporting the main features, making comparisons where it was relevant. Okay, so we'll look at that one first. Let's have a read through first of all. This pie chart illustrates the proportion of crops produced in France in 2017. There were 6 crops: cotton, sugar, wheat, barley, rice and corn. Among these 6 crops, cotton, being the only crop not for food but for commercial purpose, such as clothes making, was the most dominant crop, constituting 34.4%. It was more than the crop in the second position, sugar, by 10%. Sugar itself made up 21.9% of total production. The major staples of food, such as wheat and barley, accounted for 20.4% and 18% respectively. Rice, not a popular staple in France, made up 3.5% of the total production only. What was lower than rice was corn, which accounted for 1.7%. To conclude, commercial crops such as cotton was the mostly produced crop in France, while cereals constitute less than half of the crop production. This shows the agricultural production in France was quite commercialised. Okay, well done. This has a really good structure to it. So you've started with your kind of opening phrase, which is good and shows that you've understood the pie chart. Then you've spoken more about your report and comparing, and then you've concluded, which is a really nice touch here. It's good. So let's look at it a little more closely. So this pie chart illustrates the proportion of crops produced in France in 2017. There were 6 crops: cotton, sugar, wheat, barley, rice and corn. Good, no problems there at all. And a good opening statement, as I said, to show that you've understood the pie chart. So the next one, among these 6 crops, cotton, being the only crop not for food but for commercial purposes, with an S, such as clothes making, was the most dominant crop, constituting 34.4%. Now, what I would say for this, because we're talking about a pie chart, it is okay to use 34.4% as the symbol. Okay, so the percentage symbol. And then to be consistent throughout. So whenever you're using the numbers and percentages, to use the digits and then the symbol. So it was more than the crop in the second position, sugar, by 10%. So here, as I said, with consistency, you would use 10%, so 10%, the symbol for percent here. Good. Okay, so you've done a good comparison here as well, which is nice, and shown that there's a 10% difference there. Sugar itself made up 21.9% of total production. Good. Okay. The major food staples, we would say, instead of staples of food, the major food staples, such as wheat and barley, accounted for 20.4% and 18% respectively. So again, using the symbols after each. So 20.4 percentage symbol and 18 percentage symbol respectively. Okay, rice, not a popular staple in France, good, well done, made up 3.5%, the symbol here, of the okay, so here we would say made up only 3.5% of the total production. Okay, only 3.5% of the total production. What was lower than rice was corn. So here we can actually take out what was and just use lower than rice was corn, which accounted for 1.7%. Okay, well done. Some really nice structures in there, and some good analysis, really, in saying which ones are food staples, which ones are for commercial purposes. So nice work. The last part then, to conclude, commercial crops with an S, such as cotton, was the, okay. So, to conclude, commercial crops, such as cotton, were the most produced, so instead of mostly, most produced crops in France, while cereals constitute less than half of the crop production. Well done. This shows the agricultural production in France is quite commercialised. Okay, well done. Yeah, like I said, a really good piece of writing. The things to remember here are to use the percentage symbol because we're talking about a graph, so it's okay to use that here. And we're focusing on numbers, so that is fine. And also to just be a little bit careful of your language in places. So there are a couple of bits of word order, like staples of food, food staples. Okay. But very well done. A great piece of work. Let's move on to your essay then now. Okay, so your next piece here was about whether people should stay in their jobs for their entire lives or whether they should change their jobs. So which one is better? Okay, so let's have a look. Job loyalty is highly valued by some people, but others think it is necessary to change jobs at least once in their whole working life. On this issue, people should not stay in one job all through their careers because of the lack of job security in modern times and the possibility of earning higher salaries in another job. Okay, good. So, a strong introduction here. You've got a nice kind of summarizing phrase to outline that you've understood the question, and then you've got more of an opinion in the second one. What I would say is to make it clear that, because I believe at this point that this is your opinion on this, so to make it clear that this is what you think about the situation. Okay, so you could say, for example, I believe people should not stay in one job throughout their careers because of the lack of job security in modern times and the possibility of earning higher salaries in another job. Okay, good. Language-wise in here, job loyalty is highly valued by some people, but others think it is necessary to change jobs at least once in their whole working life. Here, I think we would take out whole and just say in their working life. Okay, because it's already suggested that it's the whole working life there. Okay, good. So, yeah, so indicating where your opinion comes into this. Okay, the next paragraph. One obvious issue with loyalty to company is that senior employees may still possibly be made redundant because many big companies do not want to pay the huge salaries of experienced staff. Good, well done. Okay, so nice use of one obvious issue is good. One obvious issue with loyalty to a company, okay, is that senior employees may still here possibly be made redundant. We could say face redundancy, just to make it more concise. So face, just like the body part, face, F-A-C-E, redundancy, R-E-D-U-N-D-A-N-C-Y, redundancy, because many big companies do not want to pay the huge salaries of experienced staff. Okay, well done. Regardless of how many contributions they have made for the company, the company can replace them with more energetic and, most importantly, cheaper young people so as to reduce cost. Okay, well done. Good. Here, I would say possibly using employees instead of people, just to make it clear that you're talking about working life here. Okay, but yeah, well done. Cheaper young employees so as to reduce cost. Well done. Furthermore, senior staff may be viewed as an obstacle to reforms because it is assumed by most managers that experienced employees may be resistant to changes. Well done. Fantastic. That's a very well worded sentence. This is another reason why companies tend to sack experienced employees, and this means it is no longer secure to stay in one job. Okay, perfect. Well done. It is a good sentence and a nice description there. Good, and a very good example, so of kind of staff that is then made redundant even though they are loyal to their company. So yeah, good. Good. And then your last sentence is crystal clear in saying why this relates to the question. So means it is no longer secure to stay in one job. Okay. Another reason why it is essential to change jobs is that one may be offered higher positions and better paid, so better salary in their new jobs. Okay, so here we could say in other jobs. Okay, this is especially true for new companies which desperately need people who have worked in the field for many years to bring knowledge and experience. So know them here, to bring knowledge and experience. Knowing that most people are averse to changes, good, new companies will most probably offer those knowledge and skillful people a more lucrative salary and better perks and benefits to give them an incentive to quit their present job. Okay, this is a good sentence. We could change it ever so slightly, so knowing that most people are averse to change, no S here, averse to change, good use of averse. New companies, here, most probably, is a little bit uncertain here, so I would suggest we take that off, take that out even. So new companies offer those knowledgeable and skillful people a more lucrative salary and better perks and benefits to give them an incentive to quit their present job. Okay, well done. Though one may feel worried about changing jobs at the age of job insecurity, getting higher salaries means saving more money for the rainy days of unemployment. Okay, good. I would suggest here, instead of at the age of job security, in the age of job insecurity. Okay, but yeah, well done. It means saving more money for the rainy days of unemployment. Okay, good. My own stance is that it is definitely much better to do at least 2 different jobs in the whole working life. While there is worry about working in a new position, it is reasonable to change jobs for higher salaries in the age of job insecurity. Good, well done. So you've used in the age here. Good, well done. So you've got your opinion at the end here. Your opinion is also at the beginning as well, so it'd be good to make that one clear. I would suggest also for this last paragraph, because it is your conclusion, to make that very clear by using something like in conclusion or to conclude. Okay, but there are some very strong parts to this essay, so very well done. You've got good examples from your knowledge or experience. You've got some great phrases like averse to change, skillful, knowledgeable, etc. So yeah, very well done. A great piece of work there on both pieces, so good work.